Alright, so in this next video, I'm going to walk you through how to create a work order, a service work order for a customer and a job site that we've never done work for at before. So again, this is all done in Field Gateway, which then feeds into Spectrum. This is where we do our billing and our payables and all that, but our operations is all over here. So I've logged into Field Gateway. I'm going to pull up New Work Order. Click on that. Remember the first little thing that you've got to do because of the cost center glitch, click on search customer. That'll populate with some stuff, but I'm just looking for this to get put in here. And to help me out with this, what I've done is I've looked in UGI and I found this call here that we created. It was for a customer that we had never done work for before at that point. And because the data isn't syncing, this doesn't exist in Field Gateway. So I'm going to create it for the first time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into Field Gateway. I can't really search by anything. I could do a search here by studio to see if they existed already. I do that. I do a search customer studio by customer name. It brings up any customer that has the word studio within it, and I do not see that here, so that would be my indication that it's a new customer. If I wasn't completely confident in that, I could do a search by address, 27895 Orchard Lake. So I come down here, I go to street address, 27895. I do a search site. It's going to come up with anything that has that address, and there's nothing. So this tells me that this is a new customer, a new job site. We've never done any work for them before. So I'm just simply going to start with new customer. I'll go in here. The first thing it's going to ask you for is a customer code. So this is really different than what you're used to, because right now it will automatically assign a customer code for you. We're still trying to figure out exactly how we're going to do this. We might simply just create a customer code based on the name. But right now, it will accept any number you put in there as long as that number hasn't already been taken. And that's kind of a crapshoot. So for instance, if I put in 72681 here, it's going to, and then click that validate, it's going to tell me whether or not that exists or not. So I can see that that code enter is okay to use. For your purposes right now, you can just put in any number, and as long as it accepts it, we're good to go. One of the things you'll find is that these customer codes and job site codes are going to kind of be irrelevant as we go forward because of the search capability on the name and the address. So I'm not too concerned of what these codes end up being. So put any number you want in there. As long as it says it's okay to use, you're good to go. So from there, customer name, I'm going to use the Studio for Hair. I like all caps, so I'm going to use all caps here, the Studio for Hair. I validate that. Name is entered. It's okay to use. That way we're not creating duplicate customers. From there, I'm at 27895 Orchard Lake Road. And that's in Farmington Hills, Michigan. And that is 48334. Terms code is either going to be net 30 or COD. Most new customers are going to be COD, so I'll flag that. Sales tax code is going to be usually Michigan. No tax is only going to be for those specific customers who tell us they are sales tax exempt, and then we would need to get a certificate from them. So that's going to be Michigan. Phone number, in this case, is 330-9810. So 248-330-9810. Contact information, whoever the contact is for this customer. This is Kenneth Sikora. Whatever Kenneth's email would be. So this is going to be very important. We want that customer email. And this is going to be where the invoice should get sent to. Down here in the site, you're going to have a site contact. So who is our customer contact where the email should go to? So for this case, we didn't get one. But for instance, if we knew that their email address was, we can put that in here, and that's where the email, the invoice will go to when we're doing our service. And then when we get into the site, it's also where we can, there's an email address, it's where we would send the technician's work order. It's where he can email that work order. From here, it's asking what the labor codes and material codes are. So we have levels, you know, from experience that we have different pricing for different customers. So the standard level is 1. So if they don't have any special pricing, you're just going to use level 1 for both material and labor. I'll get you breakdowns of what the different levels are, but for instance, 2 is going to be for AT&T, Verizon, so on. And so, but for new customers, it's always going to be, and most customers, it's going to be level 1 for material, level 1 for labor, and then again, a standard work order markup. And you can see this is kind of helpful here because it gives you the breakdown here, but a standard work order markup for new customers. So I've got all my information here. I'm going to click Create Customer. It'll pop that in here, and then now I need to create a new site to tie that to. So I'll click New Site. Again, it's asking for a site code. You can use the very same code that it generated for your customer. So I can put in 72681. I'll click Validate. Code entered is okay to use. I'm now going to use the same name if it is. In this case, it is the same name and the same address. So the studio for hair cost center is going to be whatever the cost center is for this job. In this case, this is a preventative maintenance 4 times a year. And let's just assume that this was, they wanted to come out and they wanted us to do maintenance 1 time. Let's pretend this wasn't for an estimate, that they just wanted us to come out and do maintenance. So in this case, this is going to be HVAC work orders, because work orders are already going to be for our time and material. Even if this was an estimate, we would still use a work order because it's not a job cost job. It's not going to be a large progress bill, progress billing job. So HVAC work orders. It's going to be the same address as the other site, 27895 Orchard Lake Road. That's in Farmington Hills. One of the things you'll see here, it's auto-populating with information that we previously put in. So we've got that. It's 4334. 4334. If there was a different phone number for the job site, so for instance, we've got a phone number here, but if this were different for the site contact versus the customer contact, this is our opportunity to delineate between the two. In this case, it's the same one. So I've got 24838, what was it, 248330 9810, I think. Yep. So I'll put that in here. Lead source, wherever they're coming from. Oh, I got your name off of the website. Perfect. If they request a specific technician, you can put that in here, but if they don't, you can leave that blank. Zone, don't worry about that. If there's any notes related to the specific job site, you can put those in here. If there's any alerts that we want to provide the technician, so for instance, be sure to contact Kenneth before going out, something like that. Before going out, or door code is 1234, whatever that might be. So you can put that in here, and that way the technician can see this as well. That's this display in the work order. And this is going to be something that you'd want to show up every time a call comes in for this specific site. One thing I forgot to do is validate this, so I'm going to want to validate that. Yep, name entered is okay to do. Once you've got all of your information in there, you click Create Site. And now you'll see that the site for that location is chosen, and it's tied to the correct customer, and so we are good to go. At that point, everything else is the same. So over here, again, let's just pretend they wanted to have maintenance done just 1 time. So I could put in here HVAC maintenance, 1 visit only. From here, I can put in maintenance, that this is a maintenance call. Priority, maintenance. If they had an emergency, you could put in emergency, but just put in maintenance for here. They found us on the website. You can see it automatically populated our cost center for us. Salesperson, we're going to leave that blank. If they had a purchase order number that they were giving us, you can put that in here. Again, we'll leave this blank. This is the time and the day and the time that the work order was created. And then from there, I want to create a blank assignment, not assigning a specific technician. So it's going to create an assignment. I'm going to take that same maintenance description. I'm going to copy that, put it down here. No equipment, we don't need to worry about that. And then whatever date that they wanted to schedule. So let's say that they said, yeah, we want to have somebody out next Friday. All right, perfect. Got that in there for next Friday, and we can put it in for a specific time if we wanted to. If it's past the time already, you've got to scroll to the bottom to get to an earlier time. So if I wanted to say 8 a.m., and then from there, your estimated hours, put that in. And once I've got all of my information entered, I click create work order, and you will see it creates a work order, which then at that point, again, goes on to our dispatch board. Now, one thing I want to point out, we scheduled that for the future, right? So if I pull up for today's date, that's not going to pop up. But if I go in here and I go to September 7th and I refresh this, now that studio for hair maintenance is popping up. So you're paying attention to what your date range is here, because I don't want to see stuff that's scheduled for the future. I only want to see jobs that are scheduled through today. I change my query and it'll change the information that's there. So just wanted to show you how to create a new work order for a new customer and new job site.